Hello, everyone watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify. It's another episode of NRG Insights. I know you mentioned it earlier on, but you're finding that you're kind of tweaking your products to what the market is saying, to what brokers are saying that they're not getting or they're getting. I mean, I think it's really important for people to understand, isn't it? Because just because you think this is a great product for X, Y, Z, actually, if you don't get any feedback, it's completely pointless.
Exactly that. I think it's really important. Again,
How my lights have gone off.
Is that yours? We're
yeah, I'm back on again.
Okay. We're not dealing with hundreds of or thousands of clients, but our brokers out there are.
Yeah.
And they're speaking to lots of people, and once momentum starts building or they're seeing trends, as soon as they start saying to us, I've got like 3 or 4 of these on my desk at the minute, it's not going to be just them. It's going to be another brokerage just down the road, and you start seeing patterns. And if it's a market that you can get comfortable with, or a space you can get comfortable with, we're more than happy to tweak our products. Again, we don't have to go out back and say, do you mind if we do this? So
it's with 8 different funding lines.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what's next for you with your growth, your kind of trajectory? Where do you see yourself fitting in the market?
Yeah, I mean,
the market rather. You've been in it a long time. But.
Yeah, the space. We'd like to have a book at around 150, I would say, as we come into 27, not so much 26. We've got a little bit of leg room under the desk here now. We've just grown and expanded or moved into a bigger office, so we've got capacity for another 6 or 7 people, I would say now.
Great news for recruiters. Although I'm assuming no other recruiters actually listen to this. It's all funny.
Yeah. Well, if they do, here's the test.
Yes. But you can see that. You can see the growth in the market. You can see that kind of potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's space. There's good lenders out there. There's more lenders in the market now, I would say, than there ever has been. So we
lost a few about a year ago, but about like like anything, a 8 pop up in their place.
And there's legacy debts as well. It's not a lot of lenders. Us as well. We struggle with it as well. The market's slow in terms of disposals on some of these development sites.
We blame everything on legals, like everyone does.
Yeah, exactly.
They're bloody lawyers. Yeah.
I would say that's more at the front end, isn't it? That's where we get most people moaning to us. Why haven't we completed yet?
Yeah, it's the lawyer. So with the slowness of the market, I mean, I don't want to go into the politics of it. We never talk about it, but there are houses to be built, right? There's business to be done.
Absolutely.
Why has it slowed down so much, do you think?
I mean, the sentiment is just not great in the UK as a whole at the minute. We're still seeing, in fairness to some of our developers, we're still seeing a lot of our schemes sell off plan. And again, that's why we're happy to stick by our developers. We're not saying, push out onto a buy to let, take a dev exit elsewhere.
Yeah.
We're happy to sit with them because a lot of our sites are selling, but when you've got more than 2, 3, 4 units, there is a lag.
Takes a while.
So I think it started to pick up, especially in the last month. The feedback I've been getting from agents on behalf of our borrowers is actually a lot more positive.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to take time to filter through. I think it's going to be a stickier market for the next 12 months, really.
Like we said before, when has there not been? When you find the market that's decent?
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one because obviously, like we said, we need to build houses, right? The need is there. There's just there's a sticking point that's really this affects everyone as well. Even from our side of things when it comes to recruitment. If you're feeling the speed of the market, exactly the same as us, about people wanting to move or being comfortable where they are, it's just a sticky market is a sticky market for everyone.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately, you rely on businesses to perform in order to make a profit, in order to hire headcount.
Exactly. Yeah. If no one makes money, they don't want anyone else.
Hey, that's a lot of issue with people sometimes. They start doing well and they stay the same.
Yeah.
And that's okay for 12, 18 months. then it will change, and then you may not die, but you will shrink. So you always got to evolve. And this wasn't that we were worried about Arc and Co, because we just came off our best every year. From it, but more about
which helps when you're negotiating.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why we waited.
Don't do it on your worst year.
Yeah, exactly. We're not that done. But just with regards to evolving and competitors, the market is I wouldn't say it's saturated, but you've got many people in the brokerage and advisory market now, and the debt market is very visible.
Yeah.
So everyone knows Hampshire Trust, everyone knows Paragon, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So what you're going to look at is how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? What are your clients going to keep buying into?
Yeah.
Right. So what's your story? So we're now with FRP, is where we get our business from as well is a lot of the professional services sector, and now we've got corporate finance. Now we've got M&A. Now we've got restructuring, asset management, and we've got a different story to tell.
Yeah.
So we can evolve.
Yeah.
And we can add. And already, some of the wealth management companies we work with has referred into us corporate finance deals, which I've now got a corporate finance partner I could plug into.
Yeah.
So it's already
You're doing more for your customers already, so it's still that adding value side of things for the client as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. The clients just want more, and so they should. And you've got to keep on delivering more.
Yeah.
And so what you can keep doing is just, and you talk to yourself, Marcus, get more bums on seats,
Yeah.
right? And do the same thing, but eventually that will run out of steam.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to keep changing on it, and this was a good pivotal point for us.
Yeah. Do you know, we were talking about this the other day, and I never looked at it the way you looked at it when we were talking, because I said to you, like, you've not the competitor wise, you've got an amazing brand, people come to you, you've got, the good track, the track record. But like your point the other day was actually, because I was saying one man bands don't really bother you, but your point is collectively that they do. If you don't evolve, then these guys do bother you, right? Because they've got access to more than they did in the day. It's not so hard to build a network of lenders or people that you can do business with.
Well, look, if you're just going to do a development deal at 65 of GDV, there's a handful of people very visible that everyone knows, the Hampshire Trust of this world, and I'm not keep on picking on them. It's just
and they just bring it up with us,
and we do a lot of business with them as well.
Yeah.
But the person sat at home can be remunerated, say call it 1%, the same as Arc and Co, right? And they're at home with no cost or overhead, and they're delivering a Hampshire Trust into the deal.
Yeah.
And there's a 10 million loan, they're getting paid £100,000, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Definitely is with no overhead. Yeah.
For at home on your own. And so it becomes kind of an unfair advantage, competitor wise.
Yeah.
We offer, an office, professional environment, everything around it, right? But if you're not delivering anything else, you're just delivering the senior debt.
Yeah.
You're on the same playing field as the individual players.
Economically, the tide went out for a little while, didn't it? And it felt like at the end of COVID that it's like, oh my, there's a bit of a mini boom going on. GDP's going through the roof.
Yeah.
Everyone's delighted that, it's over. And then all of a sudden the tide started to come in, and we started to see a big wave of inflation.
Yeah.
And I think inflation probably hit construction first.
Yeah.
So we were seeing horrendous costs. So things like steels, for example. So when we did steel work doubled, almost overnight. Steel.
How do you deal with that? Because you've already, especially with stuff you've quoted and stuff that's you start around special construction companies, just have to deal with, because it's impossible. You can't then stick to build cost, etc. that you've agreed, can you? You can't.
No.
You've got to change it overnight.
If you're in a deal if you're in a live deal, so you've done the deal and you've done the structure and those costs increased, what do? Well, you work with people.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You don't jump up and down and scream and shout. You understand.
Yeah, because they didn't put the cost of people, did they? It's something you both got to manage.
So we work very, very closely with our developers, and our mantra is, if the developer's doing the right thing, we're really happy to support them.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And we worked with people to work through those challenges. And the great thing about SME developers as well, which most of our customers are, is they're very resilient and they're very resourceful.
Yeah.
So costs were going up, and they were going toe to toe with their suppliers, keeping the costs down, going out for alternative quotes, being really, really agile, value engineering where they could, and trying to do all the right things, renegotiating things with us.
Yeah.
So I think he brought out the best of British developers.
Yeah.
Also really,
as well, because a lot of the fall by the wayside that don't have that, maybe just even like the energy for it, because it's harder. I think that's made the industry better. Not maybe got rid of a bit of debt, a little bit like what happens with lending. 240, we lose a few every time it gets tough. Do you think it benefits the industry?
I think it's a really tough question, because I think for those that have stuck with it, they've, people have this perception that property developers are, mega rich, and they're taking loads of money off the table. They work on really fine margins. And I think for those that have stuck in, I think they will start to see profitability and good opportunities again. But those that are still working in the business today, boy, oh boy, have they been through some tough times. They've worked for years for nothing, a lot of them. And so probably for that point, a lot of them have fallen by the wayside. And that's coming back to the point we were making earlier on. If you're going to try and deliver 1.5 million homes, someone's got to develop them. And a lot of that capacity has left the market.
Yeah.
Both in terms of trades, but also as well, developers who are prepared to take the risk.
Yeah.
Because ultimately,
we talked about it offline, didn't we? Because I've said this to you before, like your social media is great on it, because it is bringing up a lot of the issues that we've got. Because it's not like they're not saying the right things, but it's the actions, isn't it? Like how are we gonna combat it? Obviously, they've got to get you guys to lend, right? It's a very difficult. I know they've got a tricky job as well, but that's a big promise.
Big tick in the box, right? So my way has always been in business is when you start with the idea, what is it you're trying to achieve, right? However ridiculous that might be, you start with the thing that you're trying to achieve. And in this instance, they've nailed their colours to the mast. They said, we're going to build 1.5 million homes. So they've come out and said it, right? Yeah. And everyone smirked and laughed in the background.
Like your audacious goal is supposed to be the one that you keep nailed to your bedroom wall, not the one you tell everyone, but they've gone.
So they've said, that's what we want to achieve. So I think that's a massive start. What you then have to do is contemplate what actions have I got to do to get there. And that's what we're not seeing enough of at the moment. And I think that's, I think they seem to be, it's that old thing, isn't it? How do you eat an elephant? Right? And it should be eat it one bite at a time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're not seeing. They try to fix a lot of the big picture issues around planning, but actually, the big infrastructure projects, the creation of new towns, that will deliver in 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 years time.
Yeah.
What are you going to do today to get 1.5 million new homes in this parliament, which is what they are saying, and we're not seeing enough activity there.
What they need to do you think, from the government point of view? I know I hate talking about politics on here, but it is important. Get a lot of people in dev on here. It's going to be massive. Their decisions are going to be huge for all of us in the coming years. What do you think they need to do?
And actually, I don't think it's a political issue. I think it's beyond that. There will obviously be a few people that don't want to build 1.5 million homes, but broadly, most people will be in agreement. We need new homes, and we've got to build them. So I think broadly, you'll see support.